I also met the investment minister, Mr. Al Swadi, captains of industry, big and small, absolutely engaging discussions with a huge potential outcome with Mr. Peng, who runs M42
G42
and G42, who runs G42 and is responsible for the technology backbone and the foray of UAE, particularly in genomics and artificial intelligence and other areas of the future. I also co-chaired a roundtable with Dr. Thani, Honorable Minister of Foreign Trade, with UIBC and high-level industry participation, where many investment and expansion opportunities of UAE companies in India were discussed at length: manufacturing, infrastructure, technology. We also discussed potential third country joint projects between UAE and India, where we would be executing major infrastructure investments or other business potential. I met bankers, I met number of industry segments which are of particular interest to India, and I had with me one of the largest delegations that came to UAE, nearly 75 captains of industry who joined me from India, from many sectors like pharmaceuticals, textiles, leather and footwear, fisheries, finance, fintech, technology, etc. We have reset our targets, actively working to grow investments rapidly in different sectors. We're looking at collaborating with the UAE in renewable energy, shipbuilding and logistics, pharmaceuticals, retail, and many other business sectors. It's been a very constructive two-day visit, and I go back convinced that the relationship is poised for another big leap of faith in the years to come. Thank you. Any questions?
So what kind of collaboration we are looking at in these sectors, retail, shipbuilding and all?
There are many ways in which we can collaborate with companies in the UAE. Of course, their strength in investments is unparalleled. The ability to write big investment amounts into projects either in India or in third countries is immense. Apart from that, now UAE is also investing deeply in high-tech areas. So we could even be looking at serious collaborations in technology sectors. UAE also has become a hub which attracts investments from around the world and attracts businesses from around the world to look at UAE as a hub of activity for Africa and Middle East, Central Europe. India would like to leverage on that hub that UAE has been successful in creating.
Sir, India and UAE are having CEPA. So whether in the current visit, any assessment of CEPA and what is the progress?
Well, I think this is one of the most successful economic engagements that India has seen post the signing of a free trade agreement. I would like to compliment all the business persons on both sides for the huge amount of work they have done and the confidence they have shown, the way they have used the free trade agreement to advantage. And that is why we have been able to reset our ambition to much higher levels and look at a non-oil, non-precious metal bilateral trade of $100 billion now in the next 3-4 years.
So what was the meeting with the bankers? You mentioned bankers meeting, and also you mentioned resetting the targets and finance. You mentioned some focus on finance.
Well, bankers are finding it increasingly attractive to expand their operations in India. Several of them have been working in India for many decades. At least one banker who met me an hour ago is very keen to set up now a new operation in Gift City. Bankers also look up for talent from India in a big way. In terms of resetting investment targets, while UAE already is amongst the top 5-6 investors into India, my sense is that we can look at much larger investment flow. Given the work that has happened in India, the strong economy that we are now sitting on, the positivity that the fastest growing large economy in the world provides, I think UAE recognizes, and investors here are smart to recognize, that India is an opportunity not to be missed. Therefore, I think we will be looking at much larger pools of capital coming into India, both FDI and FII.
So the currency between the two, the use of local currency in settling the business, any talks on that?
That was not a matter of discussion during this visit.
So can you just brief about the Bharat Mart, when we can expect Bharat Mart in Jafsa free zone, and is there then option for the retail also there?
Expect a farmer?
No.
Bharat Mart.
Bharat Mart is truly going to be a game changer in terms of our MSME sectors, our small businesses getting an opportunity to become large exporters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always guided us that we should encourage new exporters, encourage them to look at new markets, and encourage new products to be exported from India. One of those focus areas has been the ODOP products, one district, one product, identified goods which we think has huge potential across the world. Bharat Mart will provide an outlet which can have showrooms for people to display their products, warehouses to stock their products, ability to service clients' requirements on real-time basis, and get logistics and finance support through the UAE ecosystem. Bharat Mart tendering has been started. Work is expected to start later this year, and by early 2027, we expect to see Bharat Mart operational. Already 9,000 plus companies have shown an expression of interest to come to Bharat Mart. I don't think they can even accommodate so many. And I think this will be the beginning of many more such initiatives across the world to support our MSME or very small micro companies or business persons to become exporters around the world.
There is an option for the retail also there. We can go, common people can go and purchase.
Well, it's a marketplace. Anybody can go and do what they like. And it's for the seller to decide if he wants to do only wholesale or retail. Government is not interfering in the operation. It's a private project and it will open up the doors for businesses voluntarily. It's their choice. Yes, sir.
Given the success of the UAE in India CEPA, are there plans for further talks with other Gulf countries? I know reportedly that the deal with Oman is close, but particularly Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, other.
As of now, we are at an advanced stage of dialogue with Oman, which should conclude soon. Some of the other countries have expressed an interest, but we'll be talking to them, and if we finalize, if we get confidence that that will be good for the Indian economy, surely we are open to free trade agreements with some of the other GCC countries also.
And is there momentum there for a broader GCC India agreement?
As of now, there is no such proposal on the table.
You met a group of non-Indian potential investors today. What's their outlook towards Bharat?
Well, I think some very good ideas and some very good suggestions also came out of the discussion with this very vibrant group of big businesses. Many of them were young entrepreneurs who demonstrated a lot of interest in the India story. They recognized that India's potential as it grows from 4 trillion to a $35 trillion economy provides huge opportunity. Many have indicated that they will be visiting India in the next 4 or 5 months. Roughly November, December is the preferred time when I think they like to visit India. And probably I'm going to be quite busy with a number of UAE investors in the latter half of this year.
Is there a single roadblock or something which they have come as a suggestion, which they believe hinders investing in Bharat or the ease of business aspect?
Well, the good part of the Modi government, and that's what Prime Minister Modi always guides all his colleagues and people like me, is that we should be open to ideas, learn from best practices, and ensure that ease of doing business is a prime focus of our work. And certainly I received some very good ideas, some very good suggestions looking at the experience of working in UAE. And I go back with those ideas and I'll be working with my other colleagues, some regulators, to see how we can implement some of those ideas which I felt were good. There were also some ideas where I had to, on the spot, decline that there could be changes because I recognize that those will not work in India.
You spoke about investment in third countries, joint investment by. How would that arrangement work with the Indian private sector working with companies here? What is the broad mechanism?
Broadly, what it means is that there are many third country requirements where large pools of capital can be deployed, where Indian talent can play a significant role. In many countries, there's a shortage of workers, so Indian workers, skilled workers particularly, will get employment. And it can become a win-win for the third country, for UAE as a provider of large capital, and India as a provider of skill and talent and manpower. And we are trying to encourage the private sector of both countries to collaborate and work in that direction. Government can play the role of a catalyst. We can help identify and source such opportunities. At times, government could even play the role of supporting with lines of credit or credit guarantees, or work with other credit guarantee agencies to see how a good partnership can be structured where investment is safe and we can do good for the less developed countries or those who are yearning for high quality infrastructure, the types that UAE has, the types that India is now constructing.
Any conversation on more rupee to dirham direct trade? Direct?
That was not a subject of discussion.
So when you say looking at more investments, both FI and FDI, so in FDI, any specific sectors?
Infrastructure is one major sector where they can see huge potential. Data centers and technology, I can clearly see is a focus area of UAE investors. There was a lot of interest in the banking sector. There's a lot of interest in our startups. There was interest of potential investors in logistics ecosystem in India. They see that as an emerging big market. Green energy, renewable energy is another area where the UAE is very keen to look at investments. So it's a partnership between UAE and India, which is both on traditional sectors and very futuristic sectors.
Minister, on logistics, if I may ask, cold chain and dry chain, there has been a suggestion that that needs to be developed if we can,
I think the
not produce, not going.
representatives of Gujarat government were a part of the delegation. They had some very good discussions with the local UAE authorities, and I believe they are fast working towards setting up a large food park in the state of Gujarat.
So was there some discussion around IMEC? Because this is where, this is the second port where it's going to be. And given, what is the preparation for when the situation improves? And
I think that is being handled at another level, but I could see that a lot of the investments that are happening in UAE are also keeping the IMEC at the back of their planning process. So for example, their high-speed rail is going right up to the border of Saudi Arabia.
Goifa border.
To Goifa border. So, there's every country in the IMEC chain has started reorienting their infrastructure investments in a manner that could ultimately integrate into the IMEC corridor.
And this virtual document transfer that is there between India and UAE. So, given that this corridor will go up to Israel, so is that a similar?
Ultimately, all of us will have to adopt technology. And I think even when IMEC was launched at the G20 in New Delhi, one of the areas of discussion was the need for more technology-driven documentation.
And eventually a virtual trade corridor.
And a virtual trade.
That's what I'm saying, that the virtual trade, this is the same thing which can be developed with other
That's
countries
right.
in the region.
That's right.
ये G20 जयपुर में सर आपने बताया था इसके बारे में, तो ये कितने कंट्री के बीच हो गया है वर्चुअल ट्रेड फैसिलिटेशन?
अभी तो एक एक कंट्री के साथ इंडिविजुअली अरेंजमेंट्स हो रहे हैं. अलग अलग कंट्री, सिंगापुर के साथ है हमारा, यूएई के साथ है, यूके के साथ अभी हमने एफटीए किया है. उसमें भी हमने एग्री किया है कि डॉक्यूमेंटेशन को सब फिजिकल होने के बदले वर्चुअल करेंगे. आई एम श्योर जैसे जैसे हम यूरोप, अभी 1 अक्टूबर से टीपा, एफ्टा कंट्रीज के साथ टीपा, इट्स कॉल्ड TEPA, वो लागू हो जाएगा. अब तो कितने दिन रह गए? 15 दिन रह गए, 12-13 दिन रह गए. तो वो भी लागू हो जाएगा, उसका लाभ भी आना शुरू हो जाएगा. तो इन सब में आस्ते आस्ते हम वर्चुअल कॉरिडोर्स की तरफ जाएंगे. एंड आई थिंक एट सम पॉइंट ये सब इंटीग्रेट हो जाएंगे जैसे जैसे द वर्ल्ड इज कमिंग क्लोजर.
The cabinet approval on UK setup, could that happen sooner than later?
हमारा
UK cabinet.
हमारा तो अप्रूवल हो गया है, यूके में कैबिनेट नहीं, यूके में पार्लियामेंट में जाते हैं, तो उसको थोड़ा समय लगेगा.
Sir, apart from hardcore business, recently we have seen the collaboration in education sector, where the Indian players are coming here and studying. Any more sector you will discuss, like healthcare? You can't see any hardcore Indian players in Dubai.
मेरी डेलीगेशन में, in my delegation, a very large pharmaceutical contingent had come. They've had very good discussions with the regulator, including on harmonization. And I think as that becomes stronger, they're very happy. All the pharma team I met last night at midnight after my day's engagements, and they were so happy with the meetings they had yesterday. That's the first step. I think going forward, obviously, the quality of healthcare that India offers, even today many people come for healthcare back home to India. So I think we will see a lot more action on healthcare. The UAE government has always been a proactive government, but maybe I need to do a little more work on this setting up of hospitals and high quality healthcare over here, and to take patients from here to India to provide them high quality healthcare in India.
Space tech you had.
Incidentally, in one of the meetings today, I was informed that a group of philanthropists have come together. They have received land from the government and they are setting up a hospital dedicated to the Indian diaspora, particularly those workers who come from humble backgrounds and can't afford high quality medical insurance or health insurance. For them, they are setting up a philanthropic charitable hospital. In Dubai, they're investing in Dubai.
Yeah. So it's the India-UAE Friendship Hospital, which was announced during Prime Minister's visit last month. But now the land is allocated, the feasibility report is done, so it should take off very soon.
There's a lot of excitement amongst the people who are investing in this hospital. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, how many beds in this hospital? Any plan?
So we are at this stage of, we have completed the feasibility study. In fact, we have gone into very deep details about what are the kind of afflictions for the blue collar worker. So whether it is cardiac or respiratory or orthopedics. So according to that, we are designing the hospital. But it will have tertiary care.
Minister, sorry, final question. Outside of the UAE in the region, US has announced sanctions on the Chabahar port in Iran. Is that going to affect?
I've been busy with all my meetings. When I get back, I will understand the implications.